What is one rule that you think every founder should follow, but almost no one does?
Don't outsource your thinking.
Mm.
Stay true to yourself. And because in saying that, I'm thinking, everyone needs, you said before, you've got mentors, you've got advisors, you've got experts, and every single one of them are really valuable. But don't get somebody else to try to tell you what you're thinking. Just make the decisions based on your intuition, your power, your reasons, and just stay true to that because it's not wrong.
So, welcome everybody to the Virtual CEO. I am Amy Willan, CEO of LinkVA, and today I have a guest on me, Karen. Please, Karen, introduce yourself.
I am Karen Taylor, but because of my company where there's two Karens in it, you never want two Karens in the room. I go by my initials, so please refer to me as KT. If you say Karen, I'll think I'm in trouble and I'll just run. Conversation over. No. But yeah, I'm a co-founder of Kx2 Management Group, K times two, Karen times two. I've actually had about 35 years in business. I'm only 21, but you do the math. About 35 years in business across multiple industries, companies. KK, who is my business partner, likes to say for business, in business, and doing business. But we just like to help businesses simplify complex systems and operations. So
Yeah,
you asked a great question, Amy, and I'm going to jump right in because I know this because I'm
go
excited
ahead.
about my superpower. Said, what was my superpower? And I went, oh, that's like put a cape on, a crown. Let's go for this. I was thinking KK often refers to me with that I'm known for reading people and situations very quickly. So I have a very high emotional intelligence and behavioral insight. And I really like that. I'm curious by nature. I'm always digging into why behind decisions and behaviors of people. And I guess that's the curiosity that has led me into helping organizations solve messy problems. So there you go.
Yeah, I
Basic
love that.
101.
I feel like I can't remember what it was, like either a podcast or something that I was listening to before, and they were talking about how people that are really observant as adults, like normally formed that in childhood or before. Like, what do you think it was inside of like your past that made you become someone who's like incredibly observant now?
Yeah, I didn't know if we're going to delve into that one, but my past, my past relationship, my past marriage, that was for 26 years. I had to be attuned to the smallest situation, twist, emotion, something. So I became very quick at understanding what was going to come.
Mm,
So I picked up on those little signals and everything. I think, as a kid, I probably wasn't very observant at all because I was, on the farm running around with rabbits and horses. It's like, whatever. Um, but in my adult life and, protect kids, protect
mm,
yourself, protect people. And I just became interested to see how people present themselves isn't necessarily what the ulterior motive behind it was. So it just,
yeah.
my curiosity really increased over years and years. And being in business as well, people don't necessarily show you themselves. There's a public face and a private face. So yeah, it's just something I've grown to really love.
Yeah. It's funny, like I asked that question because I always have this conversation with the leaders that I have in my company around like we always say observation is just one half of the problem. Like if we need
Yeah.
to solve things, if we want to become bigger and better, we need to be able to know that there's a problem so that we can even solve it. But I found teaching observational skills is actually not that easy. Like sometimes I feel like you either have it or you don't. And I just like I'm curious to see if there is a way that, I can teach it or I can instill it upon people unless they like if they don't have a vision for it themselves.
Yeah, and I suppose a lot of people will say academically you can go and do a behavioral science or a
Mhm.
psychology
Yeah.
degree and then you might have some insights into how to do it.
Yeah.
I think for me personally, it was just a lived experience for so many years. I didn't actually realize I was doing it. So it was very natural for me to
Yeah.
become that. And I walk into a room and I walk out and I say to KK, that one's a strength for us. This one's going to be in the resistance club. Like I almost put $10 on it at the beginning. I go- and she goes, I
That's
don't know
actually the
how you
business strategy.
yeah, yeah, $10 on this one. No, it's just nice to just go, wow, that person over there is not seen by
Mm.
the people in the room, but they're a real key person for us. And we do rely on that. Not that we run our whole business model by it, but over the last, 5 or 6 years that we've been in business together, it comes true. And so
Yeah.
we resonate to that early on and go, well, how can we actually get the best out of our clients by using that skill and, helping them mold into a successful outcome. So
I'm curious as to how you and sorry, it was Karen. Do you call yourselves Karen 1 and Karen 2 or K1, K2?
it's a great question. I just call her KK and I call myself KT
K2.
because that's
Yeah,
what
okay.
we're recognized in industry by. And it's
Yeah.
sort of like, if we can, and I like the pretense of if that's my almost nickname, I guess it's not a professional thing to introduce yourself with your initials,
K2.
but
Yeah.
it decreases the anxiety in the room in that
Yeah.
first interaction with people. And they go, oh, I actually know something about you on a personal level, which brings me into a familiar space, brings
Mm.
my, anxiety nerves and apprehensions down a little bit as well.
Yeah.
So it sort of like breaks the ice very early. So, in answer to your question, yeah, I refer to us by our initials. We don't go like bananas in pajamas and go K1 and K2.
See, I'd be the person who's going K1 or K2 or
Yeah,
just calling people by their middle names, but then the
yeah,
business name doesn't make any sense. So you kind of got to lean into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we sort of like it's hard because people go, is it the K's? Do I call you the Karens? Do I call you? What do I call you? We just
Yeah.
go, just call us the K's, the girls. There's no inhibitions on our side as to what you call us unless it's offensive, and then we might have a different chat.
Fair. Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's deconstruct that.
And so how did you and KK decide you wanted to start a business together? What was the journey like for you?
Yeah, so as I said, I've been in business for a long time, had different businesses over the past decades. And if I worked, I used to work with places with purpose, like non for profits.
Mhm.
And so we actually were working together in a finance team in a industry college, like someone who helps kids get out of school and go through apprenticeship colleges. And we just really gravitated to each other really nicely. We laughed, we enjoyed it. The space that we had, we worked in a very small office. We used to have candles and motivational quotes on the whiteboard. There was no spreadsheets and formal quotations up there, but it was always, what's the quote of the day? And people would come in because we'd always play music. And the first rule was if you walked in, if you were the CEO or the janitor, what's the song you want us to play? So we put the song on that they wanted. And so it was a
Yeah.
space of comfort and calm, and people used to come there like retreat out of a bad situation or office politics going on. They'd come in, they go, oh, this place is just like a counsellor's office. And KK went away like on holidays, and she said,
Yep.
when I come back you better be here. But I actually heard, when I come back you better not be here. So I resigned. And
She's still
I said,
curious,
I'm
I
not.
assume.
Yeah, you're traveling the world and I'm stuck in this office by myself. No. No, I was asked to go on to a role at another company. So I wasn't there when she got back, but we stayed in contact and we were great friends first. And we'd go and have a cup of tea and or a wine by the water where we lived, and we just go, oh, we need to get back together, like working wise. And
Mhm.
we said, oh, how cool would it be to you know, give something to the community and work with people and help people and everything. And we both had aging parents, and we went, oh, maybe we could go and walk dogs for people because we love dogs.
Yeah. Just trying to
And we
find
said, like,
something you can do with your best friend, really.
yeah, we said, okay, let's go walk dogs every day. That'd be really cool. And we realized that perhaps we had a little bit more to give. So we delved a little bit deeper and yeah, we came up with Kx2 Management Group. So
Yeah, okay. And so one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, are you more of a learn from experience person or a learn from others experience person?
me, I'm definitely a learn from experience.
Mhm.
Definitely. I try things, I observe things, I tweak them and adjust them. Yeah, I think the real lessons come from doing.
Yeah,
It either works
I
or it
do
doesn't.
agree. Yeah. I feel like I'm the same way, learn from experience, but I actually kind of hate that about myself because 'cause I'm like, I feel like I could go so much faster if I
Yeah.
just took other people's advice or read a book and, like, just did those things instead, but
Yep. Yeah,
oh,
no, definitely experience for me too, Amy.
yeah, awesome. And so what is something that you've learned inside of, K2 management or life in general that's completely changed, how you do business or the advice that you give to others?
I like to listen first.
Mhm.
I like to understand the problem before solution, like solving it and giving it a solution. Most people jump to like they go, I now hear what you're saying to me and I've got the solution. So here it is, let's go. But sometimes you need to delve a little bit deeper because the first problem or issue that's raised may not actually be the underlining issue. So yeah, that's when I like my curiosity goes, but why? Why is
Yeah.
that happening? And not making assumptions as to why it's happening, listening to what they tell me is happening so that I can do the assumptions of and solution drive and just go, "Oh, okay, but that's happening because of this over here." So that's not actually really the issue. The issue's over here also.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen
And
first.
is that another thing that you kind of yeah. Is that another thing that you kinda learn from experience? Like, did you really mess up at the beginning and just jump straight into problem mode or
Well, I've always been a problem solver,
Mhm.
and I think probably younger, I was just like, "Right, I've made this decision, let's go for it." And as we spoke before, I live from experience, so if it worked, it worked, and I woo. If it didn't, I learnt from it, changed, pivoted and went in a different direction. But I think it was because I went, "Oh, if I had just heard that, I would have realized this." So, yeah, definitely a learnt time, experience, yeah, and just listening and just, even example is for, kids argue and you go, "You're arguing over this toy," but the actual real reason is like there's something a little bit underneath it. I think
Yeah.
that's in life, it's in business, it's, everything. So yeah,
Yeah,
listen
okay.
first.
And so what is, like, the most common struggle that, you see amongst business owners or you see amongst your clients or people that you talk to? What is it in today's day and age?
Yeah, it's so busy at the moment. I think it's the juggle. People are wearing too many hats.
Mhm.
And they're not letting go of real low level tasks.
Yep.
They're not allowing themselves that space to be really, you know, masters in something that they're really good at. They have to do, and especially in business owners, they have to be the marketing person, they have to be the HR person, they have to be the admin person, they have to be the finance person, they have to be the entrepreneurial initiator as well. Like, so they have to go, oh, it's almost like, oh, what hat am I wearing for the next hour and what do I put in there? So I think to me, that's the juggle is the struggle for most business
Mm.
owners. Yeah.
That's such a beautiful line, "The juggle is the struggle."
And we all do it. We
Yeah.
all have it,
Oh, absolutely. We call
varying
it
degrees.
at
Yeah.
at Linkva, we call it CFE, Chief of Friggin' Everything.
There's a new C-suite person in town.
Exactly.
CFE. I love
CFE,
that.
Chief of Friggin' Everything.
Yeah.
Have you noticed, like, out of curiosity, have you noticed this get better or worse with the integration of AI?
You know what? AI, the pace that it's now taking that digital evolution is so fast, we can't keep up with it.
Mm,
And if you stick your head in the sand, you're gonna be left behind. You can't ignore that it's here. You can't ignore that we're not familiar with it. It's change. We don't handle change very well. Like we'll go, no, I'm over here
yeah.
and I'm being the master of my game. And AI is changing a lot. I think we need to embrace it. And you don't need to be across it fully because AI tomorrow obsoletes what's AI today.
Mhm.
So, but just don't fall behind with it. Like, say stay abreast of it. Trust yourself and your intuition to explore it as much as you feel comfortable with it because it's a really new space. I don't imagine people took on mobile phones off the wall and went, "Oh, yeah, this is the best thing." So, like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Will it give me coverage over here?" Like there's
Yeah.
small steps. And I think AI is the next wave of evolution in the digital space. So,
Yeah. And what do you see people's mindsets? Like, obviously, yeah, people do struggle with change and anything new can be really confronting. What how do you see it adding to the struggles that people have, like just learning a new thing like that?
yeah. And, like I said, with the juggle is the struggle. Now they have something else that's new.
Mm.
And it's another hat that they have to put on and get across, and that actually doesn't bring any revenue in for a lot of businesses, and it's like, I really need my entrepreneurial hat here and my innovation and everything, but AI, can it help? I don't know, it's
Mhm.
that struggle as well.
It's funny because I notice with AI, even just amongst my clients, is everyone's trying to use it, but I think they're using it in such a way that I mean, they're just dipping their toes into it, which is obviously where you're going to be starting. But it's kind of made them take back on a lot of the small tasks that once they might have delegated because they're like, well, I
Yeah.
can do it 10 times faster now. So I'll just take it back on. But now their task list of things that they have to do is just growing exponentially because
Yes.
they feel like they have to start somewhere with it, but now they're just not, I don't know, delegating it back over. So now their struggle list just keeps growing.
Yeah, and I think underlining is they're not experts in it. So
Yeah.
to delegate it off, you almost need to know how to do it to give it to somebody else to do it, to know if they're doing it right or wrong for you. And I think
Yeah.
business owners and managers and leaders out there are going, "Oh, I don't know it enough to actually," so they really feel like uneducated in that space. And it's a
Yeah.
very uncomfortable space for people to sit in. And, like, I'm all for someone coming up to me and saying they're an expert at it because I go, "Awesome, come in here."
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Thank
know,
God.
a good manager has, masters underneath them, like, in their own areas. So,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
afraid for someone to be an expert that is in my team because I think that's actually helps me. I don't have to be the master of it. I just have to understand it. But I think AI, for any manager that works like that, you don't understand it enough to understand the master, so, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and it's a scary time. I remember even when I was just first starting out in business and I had to hire all these experts under me, like people in IT, and I feel like I know fuck all about IT. And so they'd come on and I'd feel this immense pressure to understand every aspect of their job so that I could teach them and train them and direct them and manage them and whatever else. And now I'm just like, oh, IT, thank God I'm not doing that. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna measure you on
exactly.
output and we'll see how we go from there.
Yeah, I go, "I don't speak your language," like, because they have a language of their own, but I love it when I have confidence in the person to be able to do like, and that's why I say I love masters in their own field, because I don't have to be, but I have to know it enough to understand that they are. And I really lean into that. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm very,
Yeah.
quite hand selective, picky with people because with my little radar, I can go, "Oh, no, excuse me, I call bullshit. You actually don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I think that's where a lot of the secret sauce sits inside a business because there's such an inherent vulnerability about hiring someone to take
Yeah.
control over something that is your baby, it's your business. You're
Yeah.
so wrapped up in it and, letting it go. So, like, what business advice or advice do you normally or are you most frequently giving out to your clients or to people in general?
Do you know, I loved this question, and I'm gonna tell you my first response because I always say it, and,
Uh-huh.
but I said it the other day at a women in business program, and people were, like, quite offended by it, and I'm like, "Well, then you might have it."
Well,
I
now I
say
love this. Yes.
I say leave ego at the door
Mm.
because ego destroys innovation and progress and everything, and you can if you have ego, you have this wall up that says, "I'm not open, I'm not considering anything." So, yeah, like I always say, just leave ego at the door. Let's have a
Mm.
good, robust conversation about what the desired outcome is. And there is no ego because there's no wrong decision. The decisions aren't wrong. It's just part of the pathway forward. Whatever you decide, it just navigates the outcome. So you
Yeah.
right, well, if that's your decision, great. Let's go with that. This is where we're going. But if people come in, and I see it a lot, I used to work with your system and the system's great and I know this system. Just go, well, is it the best though? Is it the best fit?
Mm,
Let's drop the ego and just go, what is it? You're actually saying, I feel really familiar with this and I'm going to look like the master here. And if we go over to another system, I'm going to be brand newbie again and I don't sit familiar and comfortable in that space. So, yeah, the
yeah.
advice I give people is, oh, leave ego at the door. So,
And do they take that advice?
some not,
Yeah.
because it's the perception of what that word means to them.
Mhm.
If I'm saying leave ego at the door, some people might go, leave your experience at the door, leave your knowledge at the door. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And they can't be farther from the truth.
Yeah.
I actually want a real conversation of trust, confidence, comfort and everything. And everyone in that room that's in a part of that conversation, to me at that time is equal because everyone has an input that's as important as another. The decision afterwards might sit with one person or it might sit with a few select people out of that room. But I think in those conversations, you need to be able to be open to see what someone else throws up with their experience and their knowledge and their perception. What that is could actually be the catalyst for a successful outcome.
Yeah. And do you
Mm.
find like when the ego strikes the most is normally when you're giving some kind of, I don't know, constructive criticism or something like that? Or I don't know, they feel like you're insulting a system of theirs or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, and that's where we have to tread really lightly, and that's
Mm,
why I try to joke it off by saying, "Oh, leave ego at the door," because then people will react with their perception of what that word is, and it comes out, and then navigate through that with laughter, with humor, with conversations. Nope, that's not what I was saying. But that
mm,
actually then enhances the success of the conversation because they're allowed, if something that you say in a conversation, people are going to interpret what you're saying and perceive it in their world.
yeah.
And if you can set the tone for, leave ego at the door and let people show you what they have perceived that to be, you can then navigate through it and it comes down to a really comfortable conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Have you
that's
ever had it go like really wrong? So you say to people, leave your ego at the door and you start coming up with, this would be great if this could change. This is a real bottleneck in your business or whatever your process is. Do you ever have people that just kick off?
yeah, that's when I win the $10, Amy, because I go to the resistance club.
You're winning one way or another.
I'm winning one way or another, though. I love it. Yes, it can. It depends on what people think that I'm then questioning.
Hmm.
Is it their integrity? Is it their livelihood? Is it their position? Is it power? Is it threat? So many other things come into that when people are part of that resistance club based on a comment that's raised. I have had to apologize to people and I actually say, it seems it's come out this way and that's not what my intent was. It wasn't what I said. KK will often go in conversation because I'll go, oh, I noticed you're getting frustrated with that. I'll actually call it out.
Yeah.
And it is a bit confronting for some people to get called out on stuff because then it goes back into their ego space. Like, oh, you're questioning me, my authority, my power, my decision making. You go, no, it's actually none of that. And if you can get past that with people, it becomes a very better situation for them and for you. And then they become more open. Like it almost forces that open conversations. But yeah, I have had some, and I don't want to speak about any of them, but
Yeah. Yeah.
individually because it was the situation. To me, I go, it's the good cop, bad cop thing. Also with KK, I'd be the bad cop and I cop it. like, people go, "I don't like how she spoke," and I just go, "Oh, yeah, but it's
Oh,
true."
yeah. The truth doesn't care if you're offended by it.
No, no, let's work through that. Let's get past that. And,
Yeah.
then people go, "Oh, yeah, I thought you," like, because I'm very firm and I try to direct people to stay true to their outcome. And that in itself is confronting because so many people, if I can say it, are wishy washy. Just
Yeah.
try to people please you and get the outcome that you want. Now, you wanted this outcome and you're deviating it because somebody's making you feel uncomfortable. I'm going to pull you back on track. Like, and it's sort of like, you know, yeah, it's a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
funny, so I used to work for a business coaching company, and I noticed there's such a difference between having having a company like that that's really more people focused, whereas the company I've got now, it's very much service focused.
Mm,
So the kind of almost permissions that I had business coaching versus the permissions that I have being a service provider are so different. Like, I
mm,
feel like it was so much easier back in the day to call people out on their biases or anything like that. Almost when you got permission to do that. And I feel like as a consultant, especially if you're coming in to do that, you've already got like a certain level of permission. Whereas if you're
yeah.
coming in a bit cold or you're coming in known for something else, it's much harder to open up that conversation.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think that's where, we do come from because 'cause we're put in as the advisors.
Mm,
We do the do's, but we're coming in to give you the advice as to how to get the outcome you need. So, therefore, there'll be some hard truths that you'll face along the way, and they will be uncomfortable, they'll be sticky, they'll be icky. I don't care how you say it, but I'm gonna navigate you through it as opposed to allowing you to digress and run off the rails because like in the space of our projects 70% out there in the market fail because people don't adopt them, they don't see them through, they don't finish, and so our success rate is 100%. It goes into BAU the day that they roll over and go live, and you go, that's success, and that's because of that steering. And people on afterwards, I know I had one a chief financial group officer that actually said, "We would have been fucked without you." Like, this would never have got done. Would ne and
yeah.
I went, "Oh, can I quote that? I don't know if I can put that up on the
Can I put that on a
website."
business card or something? Yeah.
Yes, but it was really lovely to hear his and even throughout the, time that we worked with him, it was like, "Oh, I don't know if that was worded quite perfectly." And
Mhm.
I'm like, well, what about it is wrong? Like, but yeah, at the end of it, he goes, "Yeah, we would have absolutely never have seen this through to the end without you." So
What do you think is the main thing that stops people from implementing things properly? Like, is it buy-in? Like, what is it?
I think most businesses think they have a technology problem, but they don't. I think it's a leadership and thinking problem. The moment like managers and that stop being curious and stop, working with it, they the growth stops of the business and the progression of the project or the implementation of a new system, it just stops, it just halters. So yeah, but they blame the technology
Yeah.
where I sit there and go, well, you could have, leadership and thought processes are a little bit
Yeah.
different there.
Technology is just a tool at the end of
It's
the
just
day.
a tool. Yeah. And like you said before, AI, see it as a tool, use it as a tool. It's a tool. You can't have AI without HI. You can't actually implement anything from AI, be it an email that you've written there, a policy that you've written, anything that you've done, a process. You actually have to go and read it and ensure end to end that it's accurate and it's depicted it the right way. So, yeah, it's a tool. Everything's a tool, but yeah, technology is definitely a tool, but people blame it as the problem.
Yeah,
That's a
absolutely. I
shit
mean, I've
system.
I've definitely caught myself doing that as well. I've been like, "Nah, this tool's fucked." Like, I don't know what
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, I
Or
remember when,
user
because we
error.
had years, like oodles of years in a smash repair business,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I remember early on, this gentleman said to me, and I think we had him as a manager, he goes, "A good tradesman never blames his tools." And I went, "Oh my god, that's so cliche, but that's it. That's what we're doing today with technology, with systems and everything." And that's why I always go, "Yeah, the technology is not actually the problem." You
That's
may
such a
not wanna
painful thing
hear
to hear.
that.
Yeah. Time to
Everyone
kick it
wants
off.
to blame the technology. Yeah, that system's crap. It doesn't do what it said it would do. Well, did you implement this bit? Did you configure this bit? No.
Did you want it to work?
Yes. Yeah, actually, that's a really good one, Amy. That's yeah. Do you want it to work or do you wanna sit in that world of pain that creates chaos that validates your job and the stresses that you're under? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that, like, that validates your job. I feel like that's such a thing. Like, people don't want to feel useless. And if they implement this tool, then like half of their knowledge. Like, I remember I had this graphic designer when AI first came into it, and he just hands down refused to use AI, even though all of his colleagues started using it and getting these amazing results and like doing so much faster. And he was just so insistent that it wasn't working for him and that it was shit and whatever else. And then we kinda sat down and had a bit of a deeper conversation about it, and it all came down to the fact that he had so many years of experience doing this, and he felt
Lost.
like all of his value was being stripped away. He's like, "I just spent 10 years learning all of these skills, and in one,
Yep.
like, second, it was gone." Like, it
It's
didn't
gone.
all my skill didn't matter anymore.
Yes, and, we face that a lot, and I place that into the threat basket. They're
Mhm.
really threatened that they're going to lose their job, and if they work for 38 hours and 30 hours are spent doing this manual processes and spreadsheets and everything, and then you can automate that, and it takes they're lost, like, "Well, where's my value now?
Yeah.
What do I do with that 30 hours?" Well, mate, you actually or lady, it could be either, but
They were
I
mates.
always go
Yeah.
mate. Now you can spend those 30 hours with all that knowledge that you have, not doing that menial task anymore, but using that expertise to drive yourself into something new and exciting and improvement improvement in efficiencies, in workflows, in staffing, and oh my God, you might actually be able to, get up from the desk a couple of times a day and have a glass of water without feeling bad. But yeah, it
Yeah.
and that's the threat. People, this is my life, this is what I'm comfortable with. It's the devil I know, and I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna push through it because I know I can get the outcome. But it takes a lot of effort. AI is starting to remove some of that effort requirement, and people are lost because I don't think um, the last probably 30 years that we've all, you have to put in effort. You have to work hard. You have to get the effort. Now you're saying tool can just come in and do that. Like, who am I? What am I for? Like all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
life reflections then. So yeah.
Yeah. I like that you say, like, "Who am I?" Because I do think it is a little bit beyond, like, "I'm gonna lose my job over this." It's like
Gonna lose my identity.
identity, yeah.
Yes, yes. And then as soon as you say that, if you say I'm gonna lose my job because AI is gonna take it over, then the fear of my home life's gonna be interrupted. My ability to afford my house, my car, my kids' tuition is there. How am I gonna put food on the table? It just skyrockets into this panic,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, it's not about the AI tool making my job easier and I'll be able to do something better with my time and use my expertise in those areas. It's about, shit, I won't be able to put food on the table.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then,
which is a much bigger threat at the end of the day.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep, yeah, it is.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What is the worst mistake that you ever made in business?
Yeah, I thought a long time about this, but it was a
Mhm.
very easy answer for me.
Yep.
Um, I didn't get something in writing. Like, it just needs nothing extra.
Oh god, yeah.
You just feel the pain in that sentence, can't
Oh,
you?
I've made that mistake myself,
Yeah.
and I've just trusted someone and they've been I know I
Yep.
find it more with Americans, to be honest, like, they're so agreeable and, like, they've got so much passion and energy, and you're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, they're definitely gonna go
Yep.
ahead with this," and then you don't get it in writing like an idiot.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And it changes everything and where you think you were going, what you thought was happening. And it's like, no, show me where I said that.
Yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah. It kinda goes back to what you were saying a little bit earlier around, like, people don't always tell the truth, people aren't always honest with you, so you do need to be, like, if you're not gonna be, like, super observant at the front end, and even all the observation in the world can't isn't gonna replace a contract.
Now
I don't
you can actually say, "Oh, but you said that." "Yeah, but that's now been taken out of context." You go, "Okay,
know.
so
Oh.
yes."
Yeah.
And leave ego at the door, but also get it in writing.
Yeah, we get it in writing. Okay, I'm loving all this advice, honestly. What is a decision that you have made that you look back on with genuine regret?
Yeah, and this was a personal reflection for me. It was more about not trusting myself and my capabilities. Like I
Mhm.
went pretty deep with that question. Like over the years, and we all have, but I have really had some hard lessons which have all shaped me into the person that I am today. And I am grateful for each and every one of them. So I'm not regretful for that. And people go, I don't live with regrets. I have no regrets. And I go, yeah, I could probably say that as well because it has shaped the person that I am. And I love that. But yeah, just believing in myself a little bit more, trusting my intuition
Mm.
and my capabilities. Like they were always questioned because, you go into a professional environment. If you don't have the same qualifications as anyone, I myself personally rate myself underneath them. And
Yeah,
then I find that they don't actually have the nous that I have, or they don't have the ability and capabilities that I have. However, they have sat through years of knowledge and education, and I love that about them. But there's other ways to be intelligent, I think. But yeah, so just not trusting myself and my capabilities.
yeah, definitely. And I do agree. Like so many people say, no, like I wouldn't change a thing. Like this, it's made me the person I am. If I really think about it, and if I was sent back 5 years in time, there are so many things I wouldn't do. And it's not that like I hate myself that I like made this mistake. I just didn't know any better. But
Yes.
like you can't tell me that if I had the cheat sheet that I wouldn't cheat. Like
Yeah, yeah, you know what? Like, yes, you're right. When I was a kid, someone used to say to me, "Well, if I was your age again and I knew everything that I knew now,
yeah,
I'd do this differently." And you just go, it is all about what you know and what you don't know.
yeah.
What you know, if you know, you would make different decisions. Yeah, personally, there
If
was probably a few decisions in there that I might.
yeah.
But we're talking business here, Amy.
Oh, listen, I've eaten some questionable things that I have absolutely regretted in my life, and if I could go back in time,
Yeah.
it's still pretty tasty, so I don't know.
Would you have not wanted to have that experience? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
definitely experiences I could live without that one, actually.
I could live without some.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So
Bungee
if
jumping and then walking around like a drunken person for 3 days or a drunken giraffe.
oh, no,
Bad
you
decisions.
couldn't get me bungee jumping. No, I'm not jumping out of planes, I'm not jumping anywhere, really.
Yeah. I went into full embryonic position, and then people were going, "Oh my god, if you had had your arms out and you had, like, just swan dived it, you would have been in the water." And that's their ultimate goal. And I went, "It wasn't my ultimate
Yeah.
goal." I jumped off that ledge and went, "What the actual have I
We're
done?"
done. Yeah. My
Go
ultimate
into
goal is
survival mode.
survival, not swan diving. Yeah.
Yep.
So, if you were coaching a younger version of yourself in business, what would you tell her?
Yeah, and it's a great segue into that. Don't jump off that bridge.
Yeah.
I would say, and it does lead to that trusting myself, I would say trust your intuition earlier.
Yeah.
Because and leaning into learning, like you were saying, because knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Lean a little bit more into learning. Um, Learning, yeah, and that goes back to my earlier thing that listen first. You learn about someone by listening. But yeah, trust that intuition as well.
How do you like, I'm curious for myself, like, how do you tell the difference between your intuition and your fear?
My heart rate.
Yeah. Great answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a lot of work on myself to work out, like, I'm feeling really anxious. So my intuition is it's just a emotion that's stirring in me, and I go, not really feeling this is happening." Where fear is, "F me, I'm going to be in putting myself in a real dangerous situation." So
Mhm.
it's the escalation of that fear rather than gut feeling. Like,
Yeah.
gut feeling's a little bit nicer. Fear is actually, "Shit, I'm gonna hit that tree in the car if I don't put the brakes on." Like,
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. It's almost like you feel fear in a different spot in your body, like you feel fear in your heart and like your gut feelings in your gut.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What is a one rule that you think every founder should follow, but almost no one does?
Don't outsource your thinking.
Mm,
Stay true to yourself. And because in saying that, I'm thinking, everyone needs, you said before, you've got mentors, you've got advisors, you've got experts, and every single one of them are really valuable. But don't get somebody else to try to tell you what you're thinking. Just make the decisions based on your intuition, your power, your reasons, and just stay true to that because it's not wrong.
yeah. At the end of
Mm.
the day, like you are the person who knows the most about your business. You know your clients, you know your
Your founder
IP, you know your
decides
audience.
everything. So don't
100%.
outsource that. Like, because people will try to sway you and then try to tell you that it's not right, should do this, should do that. I love that, should you?
Oh,
I often go, "Should
and
I?
it's
Should I?" Well, you don't have to. No, I know I don't have to, but should I? Yeah.
I sometimes feel like it's so easy to give advice when you don't have to bear any of the stakes at all. You're just like, yeah, well, it's not
No.
my money, but if it was, I'd invest it here. Or, it's not my risk, but if it was, I'd invest it here. And you're like, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
And that's
Yeah.
why I say don't outsource your thinking because the advice
Yeah.
and the advisory and the mentors, they're all doing the best they can for you to give you advice and mentor you. However, you put yourself there with that
Mhm.
thought. So, yeah,
Mm,
don't let that be changed unless you need guidance in changing it,
mm,
but stay true to it. Yeah.
yeah.
Does that make sense? I think it makes
Yeah. No, it
complete
does. It
sense in my
does.
head.
Hey, we're both on the same
Yeah.
wavelength here. And so, what is the season of life that you're in now?
Well, it's a good question because my kids are grown up; they're adults. So my youngest is, 6 months out of graduating for university as a nurse. It's her passion, it's her life journey, and everything. So I really now am in a space that I find I'm free.
Yeah.
I've got the freedom to focus on my impact and contribution now. So I then make my decisions based around what I want that impact and contribution to the world to be. Like I go and pick up plastic straws and clean up Turtle Day on the island that I live on, like
Yep.
because that's part of sustainability and environmental protection. And
Yeah.
that's really core to me. So I think my what do you call it? My footprint.
Yep.
I wanna keep tapping into that. Now I have that freedom to do that because as an adult in the last stretch of my life, I can focus on what I want that impact and contribution to be.
Yeah. It's almost like, okay, I've finished like my main mothering duties. Now I've got to go mother the rest of the earth.
Yes, yes, and contribute to it
Mm,
because I think, yeah, without her, that we don't have the ability to go on and on and on. So
that's, I feel like you saw my tattoo before you started. I don't know if you can see that. It says
no,
respect
what
your
does it
mother.
say? Oh, really? Respect your
Yeah.
mother. Oh, I love that. And it's
My,
not
my,
maybe your mother.
oh, when my mum first saw it, she's like, agreed. I'm like, it's not,
You.
it is about you kind of, but yeah, yeah. I'll respect you too, mum.
Yep. Yeah, you're part of that.
So what is the problem that you are like obsessed with solving these days?
I think it is my footprint on the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, environmentally and sustainable. And I just want everything to be around. I love this new governance around ESG that's coming in with a lot of businesses. I'm like, yes. But yeah, because I think Indigenous people
Mhm.
across the world have got it right. They live with the land. We live on it and we use it. And people that aren't aware of it and its sustainability actually abuse it. So if I can help bridge that gap a little bit as well, yeah, that's probably what I'm obsessed with.
Yeah. Like a friend and I were talking about this literally just the weekend. Like we got to treat the earth like we're just caretakers of it. Like we're
Well, we are.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the Indigenous people across the world know that. They're brought up like that. They just are the caretakers for this 100 years that we happen to be on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so what is the like a shift that you're making right now that most people haven't seen yet?
Well, I'm I'm writing a book.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's about that journey, and like a lot of your questions resonated with it, like believing in myself, my capabilities, my story, how I got here. It's sort of like sharing the journey behind the success
Mhm.
because I'm a person first and foremost. I am a caretaker of this land for this short amount of time that I'm on it. People always say to me, "Oh, you do such good things out there." And I go, "Oh, don't we all?" Like, well, clearly we don't, but
No. Yeah.
there's a lot of us that do, Amy. There's a lot of us that do. And I think when you find your peeps, it's really nice to chat with other people because you go, "Yeah, I love that tattoo on your arm. Yes, respect your mother. Love that. I got it instantly." And I am a mother. Yeah, it's just finding that new chapter that I'm in and that freedom and how now to impact as many people as I can with that positivity and change and environmental aspect. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a space like, yes, I've still got the businesses and we're still doing really great things with that, but bringing in that environmental and sustainability into it and how we can impact even in the slightest way. Mm.
Yeah. Is that something that you're considering kind of bringing into the business, like when you do consult for other people, is talking about the environmental impact?
We only work remotely.
Yep.
We will travel and go and see clients and be on site with them, but not on a day to day basis because of the environmental impact that is improving by being remote. We've done that by choice so that we can, yeah, me and KK, we're both, you know, hippies by heart. And we try to make every decision that we have with regards to that. It comes into our everyday decision like, okay, we're going to go into the city, we're not going to drive, we're going to catch a train or we're going to drive in one car. We're going to also utilize the time that we're there because then we don't have to go back the next day. And it might be a bit
Mhm.
selfish that we don't want to go back the next day, but it's more about then we don't have that recurring impact on the environment. So there's lots of things that we do in our everyday that's naturally in that space.
Mm.
And then we love the ESG, like the new regulations around that and how we can help our clients also understand that and the impacts. We're paperless as much as paperless you can be that nowadays because
Mhm.
you can't be paperless. But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was a digression. But
No,
yeah,
I love it. I love it. And so, look, is that kind of your next evolution as a founder?
yeah, because we're still building.
Mhm.
And we want to make more impact, more leadership. I'm definitely not retiring yet, even though I'm only 21 and had 35 years experience.
And 2
Oh,
grandchildren.
yeah, adult children sort of like, dictates a little bit about my,
Yep.
timeline. Yeah, I still feel we have more to give, and we're just navigating through that now as to what that looks like. How can we be that wave of impact,
Yeah,
positively?
I love that. Katie, this has been so interesting for me, and I'm sorry I went off track so many times.
It's my fault. You said so.
Agreed. I'm perfect. It's got nothing to do with me. And you said it before about leaving your ego at the door. I actually just invite mine in. I'm like, you just sit on my shoulder the whole time. We'll
Yeah,
be
the whole
fine.
time. Some egos are good to have in the room, Amy.
I love that. I love that. I will be using that as
Yeah.
next steps. Yeah.
Don't tell me to leave it at the door. She's a good one.
Yeah, no, she's a good time, trust me. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna entail lots of mischief with this one.
Well, Katie, thank you so much for coming on the virtual CEO.
My
And any
pleasure. It's
final words of wisdom for our listeners?
just, all part of the questions that you went, "Oh, that's a good one."
Yeah.
Go back and
I'll just
listen
repeat those.
again.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, give the
That
podcast a multi-listen. That's the best advice we can get. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. But thank you, Amy. It's been a pleasure. It's felt more like just a chin wag with a friend. So thank you.
That's such a compliment. Thank you.